Then ask the fifes and drums to play over the hills and far away.
As we reach the end of Excavation 2024, I'm really delighted that yet again this has surpassed all our expectations. From an archaeological perspective, we've found so much more than we could have expected in the complex burial pit, animal bones and such like. Lots of interesting things that help us better understand the Battle of Waterloo.
And we've returned to Mont-Saint-Jean, which is the farm which during the battle was Wellington's main field hospital. And this behind me is a site we first discovered in 2019, just before COVID impacted on us coming out here. But we've returned, and initially we found, which at the time was amazing, and I still can't quite believe it, we found 3 amputated legs which had been cut off by surgeons in the hospital. Since then, we've discovered 3 horses, maybe 4 horses that were limped into the trench that was dug especially for the purpose after being injured in the battle, and they were put out of their misery. They were shot in the head with muskets, and we discovered them where they fell. In addition to the horses and the amputated human limbs, we also discovered a complete human skeleton. And it's only the second time that archaeologists have discovered human remains like that, a full burial on the battlefield at Waterloo, and we have various theories as to why that is. This year, on our return, what we've discovered are a lot more horse bones, but interestingly, they don't seem to relate to complete horses. We've got a lot of mingled, collected horse bones, which were probably deposited in the pit at a later stage of the battlefield clearance. Some of them look as though they're being cut. We might even be looking at horses that were partially eaten by soldiers after the battle. Horse flesh. The eating of horses is supposed to have come out in Europe from the Napoleonic Wars. And so there's a possibility that some of the horses which have been freshly killed were eaten, and some of their remains might be in the pit behind me. I can't think of anywhere else where we've got this combination of human burial, amputated limbs, and horses that have been put out of their misery, and possibly horses that have been butchered. It's a unique burial complex. It's not just a pit. There's a lot going on here.
We've also had a couple of very interesting finds up there. We've got a cannonball embedded inside the chest cavity of a horse. And we've also got smaller details like a French musket ball embedded in the shoulder of another horse. Presumably that was a wound that it sustained that led to it being brought here and then dispatched. So you can see the cannonball down here. That's a 6-pounder cannonball, and the ribs are overlaying it, and you can see some of them are broken as well. There's, as you can see, a real mix of horse bones in this area, but if you follow it up in that direction, you can see a large skull over there. That's the skull that belongs to this animal. Its rear end is heading off in that direction, and its rear leg here. I'm kneeling here on top of another horse, which we're partially through the way exposing. There's another one here, there's another one through here. This is the one laying on its back that's got the musket ball embedded in its shoulder. And as we head in that direction, we've got even more a tangled mess of limbs at the moment that we haven't yet unpicked.
Beyond that, our veterans and serving military personnel have had a great time. They have really embraced the activities that we've presented to them, come rain or shine. They've learnt new skills, they've met new friends, they've been able to share their experience, and the wellbeing support team that we have had alongside them throughout have very, very much helped them to make the most of the opportunity and really improve their wellbeing along the course of the journey.
It's taken me out of my comfort zone, because I usually refuse to do stuff like this, but now I've took that step out of my comfort zone. I've realised that I can come away and meet new people that I don't know and be comfortable around like-minded people like the staff and the other people that got the opportunity to come to this. And I know in the future, if anybody else gets the chance, I'll advise them to get on the course and get over it, because it's a lovely location and everything's brilliant. The staff are fantastic and nothing's ever too much, and all the professionals here as well, they absolutely love what they do and they teach you anything you need to know, and there's no questions too much, and they go the extra mile as well. And I appreciate it a lot.
What's really key about this dig, it's a recipe of all the key components of well-being and mental health. So being physically active, learning new skills, giving to others, being mindful, and caring about folk and caring about yourself. So this delivers that in spades, excuse the pun. So this has been a really good dig this year for the group gelling together, the sense of camaraderie and belonging that is fostered, which is reminiscent of what you get in the services. I think people really appreciate that quality, so the level of confidence and trust that is quickly developed is amazing. That becomes the vehicle for a magical experience, again, that meets all the well-being needs and really makes a marked difference and a meaningful difference in their lives, going way beyond the dig. So that's really what this is about.
And finally, from an education point of view, they've learned new skills, whether they go on to do a new hobby in the future or continue to pursue a career in archaeology or further studies. And we've invited and received a number of guests to the excavation site who've been able to share in the experience and the understanding of the Battle of Waterloo.